is Nordini Shazwani, metric number 278231. Firstly, what is game? Game is any situation in which players make strategy decisions. For example, a game includes firms competing with each other by setting prices or a group of consumers bidding against each other at an auction for a work. The next one is strategy. Strategy is a rule or plan of action for playing the game. For example, price setting by firm. I will keep my price high as long as my competitors do the same, but if the competitors lower his prices, I will lower mine even more. This optimal strategy for a player is one that maximizes the expected payoff. In cooperative game, players can negotiate binding contracts that allow them to join strategies. For example, if the rock costs $100 to produce and the buyer values the rock $200, cooperative solution is possible. Why? This is because an agreement to sell the rock at any price between $101 and $199 will maximize the sum of buyer's consumer surplus and the seller profit while making both parties better off. Compared to cooperative earlier, in non-cooperative, negotiation and enforcement of binding contracts are not possible. For example, two competing firms take each other's behavior into account when independently setting prices. Each firm knows that by undercutting its competitors, it can capture more market share even though it risks a setting price war. Dominant strategy is strategy that gives higher utility than all strategies given any action taken by other players. It may also be in Nash equilibrium, although the underlying principle of the dominant strategy render Nash analysis somewhat superfluous. Or we can say that the cost and benefit incentive does not change based on other actors. Moreover, each player-based strategy is unaffected by the action of other players. This is because this renders the critical assumption of the Nash equilibrium.
Hello doctor, my name is Harindran Annalaki Yogeeswaran. My metric number is 279888. Now I am going to explain about the Nash equilibrium revisited. Nash equilibrium is a set of strategies that each player is doing the best it can given the actions of its opponents. There are two concepts in Nash equilibrium revisited. The first concept is Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium says I am doing the best I can given what you are doing, and you are doing the best you can given what I am doing. Whereas dominant strategy says I am doing the best I can no matter what you do, and you are doing the best you can no matter what I do. For further explanation of Nash equilibrium revisited, now I am going to explain about a situation. The situation named as beach location game. This situation contains two competitors, which is Y and C, who selling soft drinks. There is a beach 200 yards long, and sunbathers are spread evenly along the beach. The customer will buy from the closest vendor. The price is Y and C. So, the question is where the competitors locate. So, the answer for this question is Y and competitor C plan to sell soft drinks on a beach. If sunbathers are spread evenly across the beach and will walk to the closest vendor, the two of you will locate next to each other at the center of the beach. This is the only Nash equilibrium. If your competitor located at point A, you would wanted to move until you were just to the left, where you could capture 3/4 of all seats. But your competitor would then want to move back to the center, and you would do the same. Now I am going to explain about the maximum strategies. Under this strategy, there is a situation called prisoner's dilemma. From the table shown, there is a question where dominant strategy and Nash equilibrium and maximum solution. So the answer for this situation is dominant strategies are also maximum strategies. Therefore, the outcome in which both prisoners confess is both a Nash equilibrium and a maximum solution. Thus, in a very strong sense, it is rational for each prisoner to confess.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. My name is Siti Nur Hafiza binti Absarun. My number metric is 279564. Today I will continue to explain the repeated prisoner dilemma. Prisoner dilemma is a one-shot game in which action are taken and payoff received over and over again. In real life, form play a repeated game. For example, with each repetition of the prisoner dilemma, each firm develops a reputation about its own behavior and can study the behavior of its competitors. Next is likelihood of cooperation increases if the player are patient, interaction between the player are frequent, cheating is easy to detect, and the last one, the one-time gain from cheating is relatively small. If the prisoner dilemma repeated, cooperation comes from strategy including tit for tat strategy, or strategy in which you do to your opponent in this period in what your opponent did to you in the last period. Next one is grim trigger strategy. One episode of cheating by one player trigger the grim prospect of a permanent breakdown in cooperation for the remainder of the game. Last but not least is tit for tat strategy example. If you and your competitor charge a high price, you will both make a high profit. Then you both charge a low price. However, you are afraid to charge a high price because if your competitor charge a low price, you will lose money and your competitor become rich. As you can see the pricing problem, when firm 1 charge a low price, same as firm 2 also charge a low price, they both will gain same profit which is 10. But when firm 1 charge a high price and firm 2 charge a low price, firm 1 will gain lose profit which is negative 15 and firm 2 will gain 100 profit. The next table also show when firm 1 charge low price, it seems like the firm 1 will make high profit which is 100 and firm 2 will gain negative profit which is negative 15. Meanwhile, when the firm 1 and 2 charge a high price, they both will make same profit which is 50. Next is likelihood of cooperation diminish if the player are impatient, interaction between the player are infrequent, cheating is hard to detect, and the last one is the one-time gain from cheating is large in comparison to the eventual cost of cheating. That's all for me. Thank you.
My name is Nurain binti Ahmad Baranudi, matrix number 279406. I will explain about the sequential games. In sequential games, players move in turn and consecutively, means that one player observes the move of other player. In this kind of game, the key is to think through the possible action and rational reaction of each player. We move to the next part, which is analyzing sequential move games. Extensive form of a game is representation of possible move in a game in the form of a game tree. What is game tree? Game tree is a figure show the different strategy that each player can follow and the order which those strategies get chosen. Let's look at the figure. It shows that the possible choices of firm 1 introduce a crispy or a sweet cereal and the possible responses of firm 2 each of the choices. The resulting payoff are given at the end of each branch. For example, if firm 1 produces a crispy cereal and firm 2 also respond by producing a crispy cereal, each will have a payoff negative 5. To find the solution for split form, we are using work backward from the end. Means that a procedure for solving a sequential move game by starting at the end of the game tree and finding the optimal decision for the player at each decision point. For instance, for firm 1, the best sequence of move is the one which earn 20 and firm 2 earn 10. Those can deduce that it should produce the sweet cereals because firm 2's best responses is n to produce the crispy cereal. The next part, the advantage of moving first. In this product choice game, there is a clear advantage to moving first. Let me explain using Corona equilibrium example. In this Corona equilibrium, each firm is doing the best it can given what its competitor is doing. Look at the table. If firm 1 set Q1 equals 7.5, firm 2 bear a small value to set Q2 equal 10. This will give firm 1 a profit of 93.75 and firm 2 a profit of 125. If firm 1 sets Q1 equal 10, firm 2 will set Q2 equal 10 and both firms will earn 100. But if firm 1 sets Q1 equal 15, firm 2 will set Q2 equal 7.5, so that firm 1 earns 112.50 and firm 2 earns 56.25. Therefore, the most that firm 1 can earn is 112.50, and it does so by setting Q1 equal 15. You can see if firm 1 moves first, its decision will constrain firm 2's choice. So when firm 1 moves first, it does better and firm 2 does much worse.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izam binti Idrus and my metric number 279480. Today I would like to present about trust, commitment and credibility. Trust and commitment are important subject matters in game theory. A commitment is a pledge advantageous to the other party, whereas a trade is a pledge disadvantageous to the other party. This is the following example. First is empty trade, second commitment and credibility, and the third one is bargaining strategy. Okay, for empty trade, suppose firm 1 produce personal computers for word processors and the other tasks, while firm 2 only produce word processors. Firm 1 charge a high price for its computer, both firms can make a good deal of money. Even if firm 2 charge a low price for its word processor, many people will still buy from firm 1's computer because they can do so many things. Although some buyers will be induced by the price differential to buy the dedicated word processors instead. However, if firm 1 charge a low price, firm 2 will also have to charge a low price, or else make zero profit. And the profit of both firms will be significantly reduced. For firm 2, however, charging a low price is clearly a dominant strategy. Okay, the second one is commitment and credibility. Support far outreturns to produce big engines no matter what race car does. If race car believe far outstrip, it will produce big cars, otherwise it would have trouble finding engines for its normal car. Far can make its trade credible by visible and irrevisible, reducing some of its own profit, its own payoff in the metric, thereby constraining its own choice. Far must reduce its profits from small engines. It might do this by shutting down or destroying some of its small engines' production capacity. Okay, and the last one is bargaining strategy. Our discussion of commitment and credibility also applies to bargaining problems. The outcome of a bargaining situation can depend on the ability of either side to take an action that alters its relative bargaining position. Similarly, firm 2 has a cost advantage over firm 1 in producing product B. If the two firms could agree about who will produce what, like firm 1 produce A and firm 2 produce B, and both firms can make profit of 50. Suppose, however, that firm 1 and 2 are also bargaining whether to join a research consortium that a third firm is trying to form. Clearly, the dominant strategy is for both firms to enter the consortium, thereby increasing profits to 40.